to rent a car in Grenada? Welcome to Ride Car Rental, offering efficient, time-saving service with affordable rates and 100% paperless rentals. Whether you're visiting or need a quick ride, we've got you covered. Call now at 473-422-1011 and get behind the wheel today. Ride Car Rental, where convenience meets the road.
Today. Located inside Rider Excursion at the Esplanade Mall, we handle both small and large orders with speed and precision. For fast, quality t-shirt printing, call Instaprint at 473-422-1011. Get your perfect print today at Instaprint. Printing done in an instant.
Good morning, clubbers. Welcome to another edition of the Wake Up Club. Now listen, it's a fantastic Friday in the Isle of Spice, Pure Grenada. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'm always looking forward to the weekend. And for those of us, listen, I know there's some of us that work on the weekend. And you know, my heart goes out to you because I know life is a struggle. We're all trying to make it in life. But sorry, I've been a little selfish this morning. I'm looking forward to the weekend because I'm looking forward to a therapeutic soak on Grandans Beach. I am so looking forward to that. You know, my body feels that it needs that. So I'm looking forward to the weekend. Of course, it's a fantastic Friday. I woke up this morning energized and ready to go. This morning, I'm grateful for a lot of things. And, you know, I always tell you, sometimes you could be grateful for the same thing every day. This morning, I'm grateful for compassion, the compassion shown to me by others, because sometimes we ourselves don't even understand our faults and our own quirks, and people show us compassion. So I'm grateful for that compassion. I'm grateful for knowledge, because knowledge is power. And, you know, I say I'm always on that journey of reinventing myself, self-improvement, becoming a better version of myself every single day. And yeah, there are days that I falter and I fall. But you know, just the process of walking, if you look at somebody walking, the process is somebody constantly picking themselves up and moving forward. Even though you have those days where you blunder, and even you have those days when weakness takes over. I'm also grateful for forgiveness for myself, forgiveness from the Almighty. As I always say, very early in the morning, it's very important to commune with Papa God. That's when no internet, no Facebook, no distractions, the traffic, everything ain't making noise in your head, and you could really focus on self and chat with Papa God. I am grateful for the numerous blessings and opportunities that exist. I'm also grateful for good neighbors. You know, when you have good neighbors that look out for you, I'm also grateful for good neighbors. Listen, we have a fantastic show in store for you today. I have a fantastic guest. My guest is Nicole Francis James, known as Pinky Fabulous. She's an entertainer, radio personality, talk show host, a master of ceremony, the reigning Miss International Mothers, a student of life, but I know her greatest title and the one she cherishes most is that of mother. So we're going to be chatting with the fabulous one, Pinky Fabulous. We take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be chatting and talking about what irks me this morning. Welcome back to the Wake Up Club, viewers. And of course, this section is called What Irks Kirk. And let me tell you what really irking me. What is irking me is the vagrant crisis that I am seeing now in the town of St. George. Yeah, well, the town of St. George's, the parish is St. George, the town of St. George's. Listen, there's a great vagrant crisis. And I don't know if they have an association, because let me tell you something, just trying to walk into Sweet Traditions, you'll be bombarded by 1, 2, 3, even 4 of them. And usually back in times they had the territory. They have no territory now. It's like it's an association that has been formed. And as I started off, one of the first things I was grateful for was compassion. Because yesterday it kind of dawned on me. I went to buy a current roll, and we ain't talking about this current roll stripping is that going on Facebook. I went to buy a good current roll at Sweet Tradition, and the process of buying a current roll had me thinking, because the process of going to buy a current roll, 3 different vagrants approached me one wanting something to eat, the next 2 wanting $5. They ain't asking for $1. They want $5. And I can't vex with them because nothing in Grenada costs $1 anymore. Nothing. But I am worried about it for 2 reasons. Okay? The first reason is that we are about to embark on the cruise ship season. Yeah. And it's not a good look, the harassment of tourists, constant harassment and begging tourists for money. It's not a good look. It's not a good look on the island. Now, let me tell you something. You have one vagrant in town. I used to help him out. Most of all, you know him. I don't know his name. I know he have a name. But you always have some C-fan. I used to give that man, because I used to feel sorry for him, I give him a $5. Let me tell you something. The day you don't give him and he asks you, he costing you the length and breadth. Walking behind you, he want to spit on you. Listen, it's not right for tourism. It's not even right for the fabric of Grenada. And I don't know if we have a home. I don't know if we have a halfway house. I don't know if we have a rehabilitation place to deal with these people. But it's not a good look. Now, I remember yesterday I was in the line, and then I had to battle between compassion and doubt. And I'm sure some of you can relate, because you're wondering, if I give this man, because it is in us to help. We want to help where we can help. Some of us need help ourselves, but we want to help. But then you stand up there and you battling, whether you should be compassionate, and then the doubt on the other side of your mind, because you're wondering, is this person going to take the money that I give them to buy food, or are they going to buy drugs? Because you don't know. And then you sit down there now wondering what you should do and if you should give. Are you contributing to helping the person, or are you contributing to the same problem because you might be helping somebody that just want to go and get a little fix? So you don't know. But folks, it's a crisis. And I don't know who to address it, so addressing it here. I don't know what the authority can do, but to me, it's bigger than that, okay? Because forget about the tourism. I'm thinking about the fabric of society, the fabric of family. Some of these people are drug addicts. Some of these people are suffering from mental illness. And when you're on drugs and you have mental illness, listen, doors are closed. Doors are closed. And then you have to sit down and study to yourself, how does a person, a normal functioning person, reach at that level? The conversation has to be had. So I'm trying to be compassionate to them. But let me tell you something, it's an association now. Because by the time you give one $5, the next 2 jump in front of you. We have to look at it. Okay? We have to look at it. I ain't thinking, God, it's vagrant, they nasty. No. There's a national problem. Okay? Breakdown in family structure, drug abuse on the island, people with mental illnesses. Something is wrong. And then at the same time too, I buy 4 plantain yesterday and I nearly fall down when I hear the price. So I know there's a crisis for food as well. There must be a conversation. There must be a conversation happening. I think too many of our people are falling by the wayside. And it's very easy for me to come and run my mouth here on the Wake Up Club, on the Ride Along Network. But I want us to start having the conversation. And I hope the tourism authority will look at addressing the situation, because it's not a good look for tourism. But forget about tourism. It's not a good look for Grenada and the fabric of our society. Too many people are falling astray because of drug use and because of mental illness. And once these things perpetuate, it becomes a greater problem. So that's all that irks me this morning. Okay, plenty thing irking me. The price of food, because I sit down and I think to myself, well, I, probably live well. Could you imagine people who are struggling, how they put in food on the table? Okay, and the vagrants worse off. Folk, you're tuned into the Wake Up Club. We're taking a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be chatting with my girl, Nicole Francis James, Pinky Fabulous. We'll be right back.
Excursion and Tours weekly e-bike rides. Gather your family and friends for an unforgettable ride through stunning landscapes. Book your adventure today at ridersabike.com or call 473-422-1011. Don't miss out. Let's ride.
Welcome back to the Wake Up Club. And of course, this morning, it's a pleasure to have my very good friend, Nicole Francis James. Everybody knows her, Pinky Fabulous. Welcome to the Wake Up Club.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome. It's a pleasure to be here as well.
Listen, I am excited to have you, because let me tell you something about you that I may not have said before. Very few people inspire me. You inspire me. Because when we have conversations, you always make me think, and you always show a different perspective for me to look at. Now, I have known you for many years. I've known you as entertainer, radio personality, talk show host, master of ceremony. You're the reigning Miss International Mothers Queen. You're a student of life. Listen, and I could go on and on. I remember when you were model, when you took Trinidad by storm many years ago with Radical Design, when they launched and all of that. Now, I tell you all of that. But speaking to you now, who is Pinky Fabulous? Who is Nicole Francis James? Forget the Pinky Fabulous. That's a persona. Who is Nicole Francis James?
I see myself, Nicole Francis James. First of all, I want to make sure and say that I see myself as a normal person, that life has taught me many lessons to build the strong woman that I am today. So I don't see myself anything different. I see myself as a lesson, as an example in society.
Okay.
You understand?
I need to get this one out of the way, because sometimes the super personality, which is the Pinky Fabulous, is what people see and they know. How did you get involved in music, and where did the name Pinky Fabulous come from?
So, music, we're going to start with music. Living in Grenada, for me, because of where I came from, my environment and my personality, I was always outgoing, very straightforward. People used to think that I'm crazy, because the things that people will shelter and feel like they have to hide, I will just say it. Even if it's about me, because I don't know, maybe for some reason, and I can't say how I see life, because at a tender age, I have been like that. So I always seems to be a different person. People would say, this girl crazy, she's so different. And I remember, for me, it was very hard to do the things that I wanted to do here in Grenada. And in a few years, something happened and I had moved to Trinidad and Tobago. I actually went for vacation and ended up staying, because when I went to Trinidad, I can't give the whole story, but I actually find myself and find the things that I love and had a passion for, and was given that opportunity to be myself. To find me, who I am, what I love, Kurt, you knew, we kind of grew up together. We went to church, and there were things that people are seeing me doing now, I'm not just doing it. These are things that if you know me, you would know that I would pick up a bottle and pretend I'm on the radio. I would pick up a bottle and perform. And I was a comedian, and I don't think people know that side of me.
Mm-hmm.
If once you're around me, you have stress. Even if I'm going through something you would not know, I would have you laughing. I'm always the life of the party. I'm always the one. It doesn't matter. I love to look good, but I would go all out to make sure once you're around me, you have to, I will give you the best. That's the
Mm-hmm.
kind of friend that I am. That's the kind of person I am. So when I went to Trinidad, I actually find myself, and I remember going to this, the first, I went to an audition for makeup. They were looking for a face for makeup. And when I walked into that room, the
Mm-hmm.
girls were beautiful. But for some reason, I felt like, oh, is a set of curly hair. Well, we're not talking about the curly ones that you add, because right now you could be an Indian, you could be anything, but I'm talking about natural curly hair. And we had this concept that you had to have a certain look. Once you're Dogala, growing up, we would say, oh, she has good hair. And when I walked in, it was Black Opal, the founder of Opal, Coco Velvet, and he
Mm-hmm.
saw me. And from the time he saw me, I had to follow the form. He said, put down the phone. I would talk to you after. Because I had this, because if people remember, I used to wear big pants with the TLC hairstyle and the big plaid shirt. I don't think
Yeah.
people know that part of me. So I was more like a tomboy, but still kind of dressing, but not how I'm into the fashion now.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, there's something special about you. And I smiled. And from that day on, I think
Mm-hmm.
I saw something in me that I didn't know I have. And life just became different from then. I was on billboards. I was, just the in girl, always on the media, on the express. And you know how it is. I mean, you remember coming through the mall and you and
Mm-hmm.
Lexan, and there was this big billboard with my face on it. And you guys were talking, and the lady saying, yes, that is one of our ambassador, blah, blah, blah. And
Well, listen, I remember that Lexan and I went on vacation in Trinidad, and we knew you were in Trinidad, but we didn't know that you had blown up like that in Trinidad. We didn't know how to find you, but
yes,
here we are walking into this mall, and we see this high-end boutique, and as we walk into the boutique, you're plastered everywhere. And what was so funny is that we're like, what the hell? Look, Pinky, look, Pinky. And
yes,
then listen, we ask the lady, and then you walk in the same time.
time, yes, yes. So, I have to, and that's why I would say to people, sometimes people would see me, like recently a lady, somebody asked me, how you reach
Mhm,
so big fast? And I'm
mhm,
like, big? I'm still walking. I doesn't have a car.
mhm,
People don't understand. And I think life has taught me, Cook. It has
mhm,
taught me. And I've reached to this point where I
mhm,
think it's growth. And I'm still battling with certain things because everything won't be perfect. You learn as the day go by,
mhm.
but life has taught me that no matter what, and don't ever give up, you could do and be anything that you want to be.
Okay. Now you talk about this blow up in Trinidad, and
Yes.
that you needed to find yourself. You couldn't, and I mean, sorry, I had to ask a question. You couldn't find yourself here.
No,
What were some of the pressures? What? Tell me.
let me tell
Look,
you
talk
something.
plainly because we talking.
Society,
Mm-hmm.
society, how we judge here. So as a young girl growing up, I lived close to the road. My mom had a shop, a parlor. You know that. I used to have,
Yeah.
was my mom had 10 kids, and four of us
Yeah.
went to schools that were out of the town area. So the bus fare was
Mm-hmm.
costly for her, and it was her alone. My dad. Well,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember. I Nazim knows me, Anya Menis.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people knew me. Auntie Shoma.
Mm-hmm.
How I was a survivor. But the things I really wanted to do, I couldn't because of societal stain, judging, because of your personality. I like to dance. I would go out to parties. You take a ride long ago. I mean, now it's even worse, but in a different form. because we are more equipped, you know. But what I'm saying is, like, you take a ride long ago and Grenada is small. And based on, somebody would just see you in a car and say, what? That's who Pinky dealing with now? Another man again? And
Well,
probably around
listen,
that time.
listen. I knew you personally because
Yeah.
we were in church together and stuff, and I knew you personally, so I knew you. You were not who people were saying, and we have to talk about that because I know a lot of the young girls today they're dealing with that pressure. You had gotten this reputation that
Yes.
I knew wasn't true because I knew you are not the type of girl that is here and there and everywhere.
Ye-
I knew who you were, and sometimes we'd be shocked by the names that you were being called with that you didn't know. You
yes.
know, so I do understand that, and the reason I want to talk about because that pressure, and to be quite honest, we talking 20, 30 years ago, but that mindset
Yeah.
is still here. How did you deal with that?
Well, before I became this strong pillar, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people would look at me and say, you're so confident, and they don't understand. This didn't just happen overnight. I remember
Mm-hmm.
there were times I would cry because even family members abroad, there
Mm-hmm.
were so many names, so many persons that were called Pinky.
Mm-hmm.
And, because of that name, anything that they say Pinky, nobody cared to know, well, is it that Pinky? So I remember there were times I remember on the phone with my aunt and I tired talk to you and I don't even know what she's talking about, but she's hearing things and, I have to deal with that. And it reached a point where I basically said, you know what? It became a lesson. I basically said, when I look at things and things are happening with other people, and I get to realize, well, this is who I am, and I know who I am, and I have to always keep explaining myself. Because even when I met my kid's dad, people told him a lot of stuff, and this man, I remember he took me out, and he was shocked because what he heard is that them kind of girl, they're looking for money, they're looking for a man with money. The reality of it is, I, it's not that it's nothing to say. I want to make sure and make that clear. I wouldn't pick up anybody. I knew where I
Mm-hmm.
came from and I knew where I was heading. And I'm from Belmont, but you would never, if you go to my village, hear my name being associated, fooling around with anybody from around that area. But I
Mm-hmm.
love where I come from. I love my village. I love my people. I would sit on the beach with the guys every Sunday. I was like a boy giving them talk. So I think that helped build me and build my inner strength because them guys didn't easy. They would give me chat and I would give them back talk. My mouth hot and hope you know that. And they
Mm-hmm.
taught me a lot. They taught me how to defend myself, how to be strong, how to fight. And even my mom, I have to say. So these things that I've been through, actually, I remember one time I wanted a job so bad, cook. I
Mm-hmm.
dressed up and I went by Hubbard's.
Mm-hmm.
That way food fair was, but they had, I think, a jewelry store. And I didn't get the job, but I would still dress and go there and hang out. So I really wanted my in-laws to feel that I got the job because I just wanted that job. I wanted to dress up nice in my heels and my suit and go to work. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get the job, but I would go there and go inside and chat with the girls. And you think I go into work, I probably done that for a week.
Oh shoot.
And you know what? I sit back and I say to myself, because eventually they would know I'm lying, I'm not working, because they would probably, you cannot keep that pretense for long. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what happened, but they end up finding out. And you know what? I end up explaining to them and how I felt, and I was very emotional about it and how hard it was. And it's funny. There was a
Mm-hmm.
company I went by for a job, and that man today met me in the mall and he said to me, I am so proud of you. And he said he remember when I came to the insurance company for the work, there was a particular woman that pulled him aside and said, oh, I had this girl, blah, 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 blah. This woman knows me from nowhere. But because of how she sees me, because them time you're dressing your little short top, your belly outside, your up and down tongue. Well, cook, I used to measure tongue, I still don't even know them name of the streets. I ain't going nowhere but I dress up like
Mm-hmm.
Mama Christmas tree. No, you understand? But
Uh-huh.
people don't understand. They don't understand sometimes how we being judgmental and how sometimes, just looking at things on a different angle. There is no perfect person out there. And what I've grown to realize that most of the times, the people that are pointing the fingers, you don't even want to know the lifestyle they live in. And that is
Mm-hmm.
why I've come to a realization where when I speak on my program, it's not because I want to sit high and feel okay, well, I'm a radio personality. My journey is to actually share my story to help with people. I actually had a voice note last night with a woman lives in New York, and she said to me, "You don't understand. You start our day." So before we
Mm-hmm.
go further, I want to thank the Almighty. I want to thank all the people that has been involved in my life. And no matter what you go through, there's always someone there to guide you along that used to pull me aside and give me little advice. And the people that genuinely know me for who I am, people still judge me sometimes. The people would make statement, "Oh, you come a long way because knowing you before." Knowing me before what? What you know about me? You understand what I'm saying? You don't know anything about me. I just was an energetic person, would make you smile, but carry a very, very high head on my shoulder because any and anybody can jump up in my dance club.
Well, I know
Any
that.
and anybody. And up to this day could not jump up in my dance club, darling. For the folks that I'm just putting this out there. And one time a guy said, he said to a guy, "What you know about Pinky? Tell me." He can't say, it's just what he heard. And too many times we go about staining people's name without even facts and without knowing, so getting to know somebody. But you hear something and you just take that and you keep running with it because negative seems to trend faster than the positive. So for the
Well,
folks out there,
it
I
definitely
want you,
does.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. So this is, to give my story. I'm going to write a book, to give my story. It is so much, and people don't understand how. From the age of 10, my mom, people in Belmont will tell you, I used to sit by the road and sell in that tree. You hear what I'm telling you? And the highest, as we used to call them, would come and hang there with me because I never hid who I was and where I come from. And when you accept who you are and you accept where you come from, people don't make it a problem. Is when you hide it, that's when it becomes a problem because you're embarrassed of it. So the
Mm-hmm.
Anya Menis, that's why if I go now to Anya anytime, they won't hesitate to support. They know me. You understand what I'm saying? They know who I am. Nazim Benjamin, they know who I am. Richard Menis, they know who I am. And I can go on and on with the names. Albert Johnson, they know
Mm-hmm.
who I am. Because Hayden Redhead, they would come and sit there selling me little snacks, and we
Mm-hmm.
laughing and we having a time and they buying from me. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Mind you, my mother, she little boathouse. They know that. Because when you hear we are cook on the airport, they come in and pick me up. I ain't hiding. They blowing right by the road. I run up and I gone. Sometime I have on my nightie and I gone. We go on and cook on top the airport. Those were the days. So I'm just
Listen,
saying this.
I remember those days fully well. I remember us on the beach in the night. We ain't gonna talk about that.
No,
Remember that scene on the beach in the night
that's
when
right.
people judging us, but Mr. Who daughter doing what?
We going.
Listen, one thing I can talk to you about is even finding inspiration from you because you and I had a conversation before I started the Wake Up Club.
Yes.
Because, yeah, and and I also have a personality out there, but I also have feelings.
Yes.
And I remember you saying to me, okay, and I have always been the type of person, listen, say what you want to say, but you brought it in perspective to me when I was going to start the show. You said to me, people are going to comment, people are going to make nasty comments, people are going to try to bring you down. I don't want to see you answering none of them unless it's Beyonce and Jay-Z. Tell me about that.
Let me tell you, I used to be a hothead. I could
Mm-hmm.
curse, eh? I ain't get it in English, but you see cursing when coming to put things together. So if the teacher knew, she would have cursed on the blackboard that I do well in English. Because when coming to listen, I don't think it have a person, everyone and all would have learned from me. And I used when I answer you, sometimes when I see people throwing stones at me now, I
Mm-hmm.
just lie down and smile. Because I would lie down and smile because I answer them in my mind and I laughing and saying the book will shut down if I answer them. And I used
Mm-hmm.
to feel like I have to. I have to do it because I'm going to look small if I answer them and stuff like that. If you notice, I give nobody attention now. And the reason I've reached to that limit, my kids, one,
Mhm.
when I realize that I am making an impact in other people's lives,
Mhm.
children are asking the schools to reach out to me to come to them because they just like me. They like how I speak. And not
Mhm.
just for them, but respecting myself and what I do. That is when I decided and realizing that, you know what? When you're doing these things, you're a musician and you put yourself out there in the public eyes. Not everybody's going to like you, and it's okay. You have to focus on the love.
Mhm.
It is important to focus on the genuine love because I would say this with a passion. Not everybody that likes your stuff or supports you genuinely like you, you know. And this
Mhm.
is where people have to understand. And I understand that because the important part of it is that I love me. I like what I do. I'm not lying to you. I'm not lying to myself. Anything
Mhm.
I tell you out is the facts and is the truth. I'm not going to hide. If I had an abortion and I feel to talk about it and you want to judge, that's your business. Because what I've grown to realize, I might sit here and say, Cook, I had 3 abortions.
Mhm.
Somebody might be under the live saying, you're wicked, you're this, you're that, and had 10. But because nobody knows and they feel comfortable to type on that keypad, because nobody knows that they had 10 abortion, but Pinky's here saying she had 3, they're going to judge because I am out in the public eyes and they feel their skeleton is hidden. And it makes me realize I'm saying this to say that there's no perfect person. And a lot of times we judge because we feel comfortable to judge. We feel
Mhm.
powerful with that keyboard. We feel that, okay, nobody knows my secret. So I am going to just come out and reign because what I'm saying here, I can carry on with Pinky because nobody knows what I am doing. And that is when I realized no matter what you do, people are going to talk. And when I sit and I say to myself, half of the people that are talking, I sit back and I look at, sometimes they see something in you that they don't have in themselves. One, a lot of grown folks are fighting battles
Mhm.
that we cannot see and we don't know. And the only how they feel good about themselves is to attack somebody else. Two,
Mhm.
thirdly, only me knows about me. So if you want to know my story, don't hear from nobody. Don't afraid to ask me. If I had 3 teeth, I go tell you Shri I have. I in business because I have accept my flaws. I've accept the mistakes that I made. And even now, even when I do something wrong, sometimes I give myself self-thought and I say, you know what, why I keep going through this? Maybe it's not the person, it's me that have to work on myself. So these are the things that you have to look into. And when you reach to that standard, it's not that I don't care what people say. It doesn't affect me anymore
Mhm.
as it used to before. And that is
Yeah.
because I've reached a level of my mindset in how to cope. And you see, coping, you see, control of emotions, you see that mind that takes you when you overthink, that is what makes you react sometimes. So nobody can, and mind you, I want to put this out there, I'm afraid nobody, yeah? If you didn't know what I'm a mental case, but I have
Well,
control. You hear me? But you see, if you mess with these 3 beautiful children that God blessed me with, I wasn't the perfect mom because I was young. I was with a man, he well off, he was on drugs and all these things, and many more you could even say. But I try to, I can't make up for the past, but I try to do as much as I can now. And you can't break my spirit because I'm on a level of acceptance. And that is where it starts from
mhm.
accepting and realizing who you are, the strength that you have within you. And once that's it, you don't bother with nobody. When I curse you, when I go on social media, you are about 10,000 people below the line. They come because they care. Who really cares about your problem? People just want to know. The same people that are under the light.
Entertainment.
Right. But speak about, let's say, for instance, we're talking about child abuse. How much people has been under that thing? Kirani and them win the race. How much people sharing it still and giving them the glory? No, just the moment, but something negative will trend for weeks. And I observe that. And the more you give feed something attention, it lasts long. So for me, I not answering you. You already. But you see, if you meet me and you raise that hand of yours, Well, that is a whole different ball game. We gone left, teeth gone right, clothes might end up somewhere. It's a whole different ball game. I will switch from 0 to 1 million quick, 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 quick. I don't mess with my family. But if you come to me, I think if you have an issue with somebody and you reach out to them and you say, watch, Pinky, I don't like what you do, and ask Cook about me. Me and Cook friends. But we had differences. When he fret me, I just tell him how it is. He go tell me how we feel. He go vex. He just spring up him out like a little. When he vex, he do have a way does do him out. Me and business. When I pass, I knock the glass and I go me. Because that is what friends supposed to be. I would tell him, Cook, you're wrong and you shouldn't behave like this. You have to consider people's feelings. And this is what friendship is all about. We go argue because he's stubborn. He want to hear where you're coming from. I hear what you're saying and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, that is what you have to be able to tell me. Pinky, what you're doing is wrong. Pinky, you're on the right path. That is what is true friendship. A lot of us don't know what is friendship and value friendship. And I think
And
sometimes
depth and I think what people fail to do in friendships is because sometimes we really don't know the people that we call in friend. We don't know their background, we don't know their history, we don't know what shape the perspective they have in life. And often we want to push our agenda on people, but sometimes it is just understanding that person's mindset, where they're at the time. Because listen, sometimes I hear people interfere with you and I say to myself, Lord, they better hope the old Pinky don't come out.
no, they wouldn't.
The old Pinky don't
Watch me.
run out.
Anybody get my attention, when it reached to that point. My husband said to me recently with a situation, he said, babes, you change, you get soft. And I laughed. I don't think I smiled and I said to him, for some reason, God has a plan for me. And I honestly believe that. I am not Christian that say, well, okay, oh God and glory to God. I praise God, yes. But I give, listen, I go on a high level of thinking a lot of times. And sometimes I would lie in my room and look up in the ceiling. The good thing is, family that know me will be happy to see me walking around crawling in the house because that's a therapy. But you see, when I just meditate on you and I decide I had enough for you, it doesn't be nice. I do business. You will think I go in and host a show and I go in and cuss you on the stage with that mic and don't care. That is the kind of person I am. I will go in a church and put you in your place because you're pretending for the pastor. So I reached a level where I control my emotions. And sometimes I say, but look at who's talking. Why even waste my time? Am I going to lose my self-respect? I think when you reach on social media with something, you're not trying to resolve a problem anymore. You're looking for attention based on the issue. And
Definitely.
what I've seen, I had lots of associates. I won't call them friends. Friends don't do these things. That I used to be around, where was my, hey, my ride or die, the life of the party, without you, we can this, we can that. I'm not perfect, but anybody, the sad part is those women would never speak of the good things, they will speak negative. And sometimes I just sit and I look at them and I say, you know what, I feel sorry for y'all. And that's why I've made that change where I forgive you, but I wouldn't accept you back as I don't want that close friendship with you. That is why when you see me, I'm always busy going somewhere. It's either my child or my husband, because I learned to separate. And I think we have gotten more cruel as people. There's no love, there's no passion anymore. Nobody really cares. It's all about everything is show.
And self.
Right. But I don't like to be a hypocrite. There's a lot of things I sit and I look at sometimes and I feel like, okay, I should answer. And I say, you know what, that's not my place. I don't think I need a voice for everything. There's other people to deal with that. When I'm on my program, I voice what I have to say. You notice I don't take part in nothing at all. And there's a reason for that. I have my reason. I'm not judging the people that feel they have to voice their opinion. It's all okay. And I think we just don't understand that when we're out there, people will talk. They're going to talk whether you're out there or not. But when you're a public figure, it's even more. You have to deal with a lot because the expectation of others is totally different. People expect for that from you. You think if I was to go and fight for a man now, people are going to say, but I don't think you would have talk on the program. And that's why when I'm speaking on my program, I would say, you don't know how you would feel in situations. So I don't go and say, me, I ain't doing that. It's toxic. It is toxic. But sometimes you're human. And based on the situation, sometimes you react. So we have to be careful how we speak. We have to be careful how it will take us to a different thing where people would say we're pretending. We have to be real sometimes. A pastor, a counselor would tell you, well, walk away. But when they're in the situation, you're shocked to know, well, the pastor pick up a gun and shoot a man. It's not right. We're not speaking violence or promoting violence. But because of how he dealt with it, because of his emotions, he couldn't control. He couldn't even use the same the same thing he's giving you, telling you advice he's giving you how to deal with your situation. He couldn't because at the moment. And that is why now I'm able to control. You see, control? You see, controlling your emotions. You see, coping with things and accepting life. We expect too much perfection from people. But life is about good and bad. You get up today, you feel happy, you celebrate happy. People would say to me, oh, you're always posting you and this man. Next thing, the man done with you, the man on you, the man on me, I have to deal with. I walk through tongue, even though I sing, take on and stay quiet, I ball down tongue because I start, he hurting me. And it's just a tune. I might sing again, horn and I ball in the next year because that is
Listen,
life.
listen, it is definitely life. But let's take a quick break, and when we come back, because you and I've been through life,
Yes.
and for the average young man or young woman out there, there is even so much more pressure now with social media and Facebook, and we're gonna talk about that. Folk, you tune into the Wake Up Club. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be chatting more with Nicole Francis James. It looked like Junior fall asleep. So let me continue.
Yes. So no, but
Listen, we talking about, you talked about your life,
mm-hmm.
and you know my life more than most people. The
Yeah.
amount of people give me that I don't even know, okay, because they don't know me. And I think to myself that I am a very strong individual. I've always been. um I don't care about what people say. Well, I care about what people say, but it doesn't make me react the way it did many years ago. But now I look at a lot of people struggling and the pressure of social media.
Yes.
Because before they start talking you, they calling your mother, they calling your aunt. They had this to say, the neighbor talking. Now you have the pressures of social media with everybody feeling that they're comfortable and safe behind a keyboard. They could just say anything.
Thing, yeah.
Young people today, I mean to say, we had it hard. And I
But
just find
Cook,
young
I want
people
to
today
cut you,
have it
not just
harder.
young people, because if you look at it, I think we, as the
Uh-huh,
adults, remember, they are looking onto us, and I see grown
uh-huh,
folks now are we complaining that the youths are out of hand and they have no respect. But if you look, let's say for instance, me and a friend fall out and we cussing. That
uh-huh,
friend is going to tell me, oh, you're the hungry, I feed you, how much man I take, my body
uh-huh.
this. She see my breast see long so like Tarzan rope through the jungle. Things like that. People don't speak. If I'm cursing you and I'm angry, I'm not going to tell you you're very good at your program. I'll cuss you out because I want to hurt you. That is the purpose of cursing somebody. You want to hurt them. You want them to feel a type of way. And sometimes we don't understand, and that is why I don't judge. If I see a young girl on the street, Coke, I'll tell you something. When I finish work, you spoke about vagrants. My workers will tell you half of the vagrants is my friend. I would walk and talk with them. There's one that is beyond the bank on the step. And I would go and check him to make sure he take his pressure tablets and things like that. I don't put these things out there because I'm not doing it for a strike. And not that I'm saying when folks post their stuff, they're looking for attention. No, sometimes we can, based on what you do and your job, you have to post. And that's okay.
Mhm,
But I do a lot of stuff. I help a lot of kids. I'm not
mhm,
rich, but I help because I know who I am. I know where I came from, what I've been through in life. And that is why sometimes I sit with young girls and boys, and I know I make difference in their lives. They call me Auntie Pinky, Miss Pinky. All the artists will call me Miss Pinky. And that is because how I deal with them. You would really, about
mhm,
two or three producers or artists ever put any forwardness to me. Others afraid
mhm,
because the way I am, I straight up, I'll put you in your place, I'll tell you. But what about, I'm a big old woman and I ain't old to talk about, but what I mean experience. Think about a young girl who struggling home, her parents struggling, and she looks at social media where we sit at a fancy restaurant and we feel we have to have the biggest phone and the long weave and all that, and feel like, okay, well, I'm not doing well because I don't have those things. And a man might come onto her who is experienced and knows her struggle. and use that weakness, that opportunity to offer her things. Think about things like that, but we don't see it, the root of the problem. We look at that child and we judge, go on, little nas, them little girl and them this, they that. Instead of we coming together, why we don't form groups and go and talk to these young women on the street instead of, let's say a young girl passing through town in a short pants. A big, ageable woman who was young too, who probably share everything for the village, but nobody knows. She feels she big now and she's her children and she living a different life. And hey, are you too nasty and come and look at your dress and your comment tongue? What about the humiliation? What about pulling aside that child and say, excuse me, I could have a talk with you? Because sometimes it's based on your approach. What about pulling her aside and say, darling, you're so beautiful. You know, you don't have to dress like this. And you will be amazed to see the difference you make. She might listen and may not tell you, well, okay, I wouldn't wear this again. But one day she might be putting it on and hearing that voice in her head, what you said to her. And that could make a difference in her life. And we don't
Definitely.
understand that we paint this perfect picture. Well, don't talk for them so-called Christians.
Hey.
But we ain't gonna jump into that.
Mm-hmm. Pink, you look like you're frozen.
We ain't going to jump into that.
Folks, we take a quick break and we'll be right back. Pinky look like she having a little.
Are you looking to take your business or event to the next level? Advertise on Ride Along Live and reach over 10 million viewers worldwide every month. With a global audience tuning in for the latest news, entertainment, and culture, your message will get the exposure it deserves. Don't miss the opportunity to showcase your brand to a diverse and engaged audience. Ride Along Live, where the world watches and your business grows. Contact us today to get started.
Yes.
Folks, welcome back to the Wake Up Club. Pinky, you back? Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. No, there is that pressure. And I think sometimes as adults, we're quick to criticize without knowing people. I remember once there's this girl that used to be on the lane, okay? And people said that she was a prostitute. I didn't care what
Very
her
nice
life,
girl.
very nice girl. I didn't care what her life was about. She stopped me and she asked me for a ride one day. And I stopped and I gave her the ride. And let me tell you something. When I got her story, it almost brought me to tears, because I know the average Christian that was watching her ain't know what make her stand up on the side of the road, ain't know nothing about her background.
I could tell you her story.
Yeah, ain't offer her prayer,
Yeah.
ain't offer her counseling. The only thing they offered her was judgment.
But hold on. But the average Christian husband is going and pick up when 6 o'clock outside dark, eh?
Amen.
Don't forget to say that part, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Them perfect people, the husband, and some of them, listen, let me don't go down that road because we're not here to judge either. So we're here to bash. But the
Yeah,
point
exactly.
I'm making is there is no perfect person. And that doesn't mean that, okay, because you're going to say there's no perfect person, you're going to live your life careless. But we need to stop judge too much. And I'm in saying that based on what persons say, I of course I say something. I had the files and so people can hire files. You know, no secret in Grenada. As I just tell people, Victoria exposed all my secrets, you know. Victoria is loyal. Long ago, special people used to buy Victoria's Secret underwear, but Victoria don't loyal. Everybody, all dog and cat buy it Victoria. If you look outside, my pet must be having a Victoria's Secret.
Listen, when we come to that, I think that, you know, like for example, when I look at young girls, and I think we still do it, and I hope some people who are looking at the program will realize that they're still doing it. Now, it's okay for a young man to date 4, 5, 6, 7 different women. As a person, you see a young girl, she go out with this man tonight, she go out with her next man the next night. You don't care whether she dating or she getting to know people, eh? Okay? So sometimes we pressure our young women because of the stigma to stick to things because they are afraid of how we go talk.
How we judge them.
A girl going out and dating is getting to know people. It doesn't mean that she's sleeping with everybody. But sometimes as people, we pressure our young women to accept a lot of bullshit. Okay? Because they're afraid we tongue. the curse of the
But so
tongue.
to be honest with you, it's
Uh-huh.
not right for both men to sleep around. It's not right for both women. Your
Mhm.
body is supposed to be a temple, and I think people take sex for is like nothing, but it's a big thing because your energy connects. It's a serious thing, but that's a whole topic by itself.
Yeah.
Let's jump into talking about me being Miss,
Yes, yes. Okay,
right?
because we could go on and on, eh?
We could go on and on, but we're not
Now
going to.
listen. Listen, yes. One of the titles you recently won was Miss International
International,
Mothers Pageant. And I know
right?
when the pageant were long, eh? I remember the
Yes,
first show you did was with Lassie Space, yes. And Papa, I could remember I could remember the introduction up to now. They say, tell me about yourself. He said, hi, I am Nicole Francis, better known as Pinky. My hobbies are meeting people and climbing
climate
trees.
trees. Yes,
Listen, I remember
people was
where
on
it
the
was
ground.
Mauricio House.
People lie down on the floor rolling.
People
And I
lie down on the
think
floor rolling. I could
that
remember
made
the
that show the
I
one of
remember the I remember the gong. It was a purple gong with one long
long
slit.
split. And the
Listen,
swimwear, what shocked people because nobody knew I had that little figure under there.
figure.
I won best swimwear and I came third.
Yes,
I came third.
definitely.
That year was Michelle. No, it was Vaughn McSween that
Mhm.
won. And it was
Uh-huh.
Michelle Elegant that came second. She worked in NCB Bank. So those were the days. But before we
Those.
start, I want to thank God for everything, Kirk. I want to
Uh-huh.
thank all the sponsors, the people that were responsible for me
Mhm.
being a Miss Elegant Mom. And I have to thank Garia Walker, first of all,
Mhm.
because I remember I didn't want to take part in the show. You knew the story. And
Mhm.
she's the one that pushed and, stick by my side. She would drive from Grenville, come down every day. And I have to thank you, of course, with the designs. We had we
Mhm.
battles, but it turned out wonderful in
Definitely.
everything, definitely. But I just want to thank Miss Cindy. She lives away. I don't really know her much, but she's always been a part of whatever Garia does. I have to thank her. And I have to thank Gail Purcell and National Lottery. Real
Uh-huh.
Value, they first came on board to
Uh-huh.
sponsor. I have to thank Anya Menis, all the sponsors. If I didn't mention your name, I can't call everybody. But people don't understand doing things like that. I didn't think my country expected. I know I was doubted a lot, and
Mhm.
I got used to it. But the thing I want to say is, I remember saying to Garia, she said, "You have to win the show." And I said, Garia, for me, I already won, not meaning that I win the show, but just for me being that strong person taking part because it takes a lot, a lot, a lot to go for Queen Show. And that is why I want to say this. I would love to see the three delegates, first, second, and third place. I would like to see their faces more. I would like to see them use them more and get them more involved. Not because Queen Show done and Carnival done, but I should be hearing more about these girls. I should be seeing their faces on billboards, seeing them
Mhm.
hosting things, doing a lot in the schools. This
Mhm.
is what I want. A Queen Show should not break the young women, but build them to be better persons and to make a difference in society.
Definitely. So
Yes.
listen, tell me, I know that you're the reigning Miss International Elegant Mothers,
Mhm.
and I know you're also Grenada is going to be the host country for the pageant next year. You know.
Well, that's something that might have a change because of Beryl and because of the contract. Because it's not
Mhm.
just hosting. I don't want to touch base much on it,
Yeah.
but I already spoke to the organizing team, so he's aware that if things doesn't change, maybe on the contract, we will not be able to host the show here because we will
Mhm.
not have that finance. We have other things
Mhm.
to deal with in finding
Mhm.
sponsorship to, so if it's a situation whereby, as I said, I don't want to talk much on it, but it
Mhm.
is his job to, go along and make the public know what's really happening. But in saying this, it I don't want to sit here and lie. It was a journey, Coco God. I think it made me even stronger than who I
But
am.
that's what life is about. Every experience is supposed to make you a better version of yourself.
Yes. And that is a story I will tell in one day to come.
Mhm.
Trust me. It is a
Mhm.
story. But I'm telling anybody that want to participate in any Queen Show, or just be in anything with the public, I think they need to counsel them to build them mentally with how to cope and how to deal with things and to deal with society on the whole, because that's where judgment come in. The comment sometimes is not healthy for these young women or to deal with. For me, a whole gangali in the business, and I'm going to say this with no apology. If you take it
Mm-hmm.
wrong, that's okay. I can cope with that. I will go on any stage, and as Marshall say, he don't read comments because it could break you. I've seen female artists stop singing because of things people say, not me. I will take that mic, that whole million crowd won't like me, and I'll stand there and sing comfortable and take that mic and enjoy myself. What you say is your business, but I'm doing my thing and getting paid and leaving that premise because all I see is the money and a passion for what I do. But not everybody has that strong backbone. Your back have to be
But you
broad.
see, your backbone has come through life and experience and
Experience.
growth. For a lot of young people, the criticism can break them.
And that and how because of how because they're not seeing what I've been through and seeing that the growth from it. They actually facing the societal issues because we expect certain things from them. This is how we have life in a way. You're supposed to do things that way. You're supposed to do so. That is why we have young women are going through abuse and they'll stay in the relationship because they're scared that people are going to say, well, them and the man done. Let's say, for instance, you're with a man and he's juggling you and another woman. You feel if you
Mhm.
walk out and he's already seen that woman, he's going to be with her, and people are going to laugh and say he leave you for that woman. But you don't understand when you leave, you're bettering yourself and you're getting a peace of mind. So a lot of times we have to understand we as the grown folks have to be blamed for a lot of these things. Because sometimes we speak one, and what I realize is positivity trends. Half of the people I see and watch me, I could call name and I could put up my whole name for them to take me to the lawyer because I'm business, because I go in the
Mhm.
courthouse and say, Judge, I know what I'm saying. A
Mhm.
lot of them I see that's been making so much drama in the back with that keyboard, but they on social media and putting up a front.
Mhm.
And that is why I think I reached a point where I don't bother anymore, because I know what I know. I know
Okay.
what I know, and I think that we have to look within ourselves as grown folks. I'm not judging and pointing fingers, but we has to take a lot of responsibilities for the things that the young generation are doing, because we want them to have respect. But when you're on social media saying, go on, you see, you this, you that, and social media is not just for you or here, it's worldwide. These children, just as how they're going and they're watching sexual activities on social media, they're seeing what you're writing, they're going and watch your profile to see who is this. We put out this thing where we feel a good life is eating a lobster. Mind you, your body full of cholesterol when you're done.
But you
We
see,
further,
that's the misconception. The misconception is everybody wants to say they're living their best life.
what
But
is
to
best
them, the
life?
best life is sit down eating a lobster, put on a set of fancy clothes, paint their face, But at the same time, it's an illness. It's an illness of because I look at it and I laugh, but at the same time I look at it from a different perspective because I'm realizing that sometimes a lot of these people that are doing that
They're facing battles.
lacking love. They're lacking
Acceptance,
love and acceptance. So they
acceptance.
want a mass crowd to appreciate them and say, oh my God, you look good. Oh my God, you look beautiful. But most of the time, it's a broken person crying out.
And not just that, if you realize, like a lot of children will be ashamed. They feel their parents have to be this, have to be that. And then they're proud to say, this is my family or this is who. But I'll tell you this. Remember, I told you one time my mom came with the green fig, the bunch of fig, and I think because I was with my friend. That was a lesson for me because I'll tell you this, a lot of us are born in situations we had no control over. You can't control the home that you grew up in but you can make a difference when you get bigger that you want better. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? And we have to learn to appreciate our parents, appreciate where we come from. And always remember, don't let nobody tell you, well, you're from River Road and you're from Belmont and you're from the it
Mm-hmm.
a bandit, it's a thief. When we from Belmont, we's a thief. But in them big time area, they embezzle the money. You understand, posh name. But I'll tell you, this sin is everywhere. It's nothing about the name or the place you come from. It's you as an individual person. So it didn't have lawyers that come out in River Road. It didn't have
Hmm.
teachers from River Road. It didn't have it didn't have people that come from Belmont that become somebody. So it's you, it's your mindset. It's not about the village that you're from, but because of the things that happens in certain communities, they get a stain just as a human being. And these are things I think we need to teach in school and break down so that children could understand. Like in schools, you will see they more paying attention to the children that come, let's say, from a well-rounded family. With their mother and father, they drop them off, they're well proper in school. A child that come in with just a plastic bag and he exercise, they shun from that child. I tired with Amy, always this. When we should be giving that child more attention, getting down to the root of the problem. What is causing this? Why this child is always sleeping? Why that child don't have lunch? Let us get down to the root of the problem. A child coming to school, they have issues, they've probably been abused.
Hmm.
Everybody, you get raped, you're not afraid to say because the minute time you answer, go on, your father rape you, you get raped, you this, you that, like it's your fault. So
You're
people are
spoiled for
becoming
life.
scared to speak out. They shelter things. And we cannot blame them for that. Not everybody could deal with societal judgment. Not everybody could cope with people pointing fingers. And the thing is, discipline has a long way to go. The reason children now cannot cope with situations. Long ago, your parents will punish you. You had to kneel long and a greater. It's called abuse. But I think that molded me into who I am. Go and tie the sheep. They give you have things to do. You have errands to run. But no children, my son ain't doing that. You're mad in this modern time? I don't put no ribbon in my child. Your children as way both still knows that. Not the way she ribbon, she have to way she both is a child. You have to wear your
But
little frill dress.
you see, Pinky, we could go on and on because
Yeah,
I really believe that because we over time already now, okay? But the conversation sweet. And definitely we must chat again because we could chat about the whole thing. And I love the fact that you give most of the conversations we have a human perspective and that
yes.
people can relate to. Because to me, the biggest crisis facing Grenada and the world right now, and you just hit it on the head, is that of parenting and the perspective of parenting. You think I could have lied down and sleep in my mother bed 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning? No. I had to get up and do my chores.
And long ago, parents cooking, you have to come and watch and learn to cook.
Exactly. But
You
you
see them
see,
throwing tote in the box of KFC below the arm. You can give children $20 now. People not teaching children, oh, okay, this is it. You have a summer job, and this is the reason why I make you do the summer job. Parents, some of us we poor, but we feel we child have to have a big time cell phone. Long
well,
ago we used to save we little $100, $50 to buy we youth stuff for we on the arm and thing, and we have to learn how to care self care, but not anymore. Children
well,
trying to
listen.
Jordans. Eh?
But
You're getting children to play bobo and
listen. Girl, is a conversation because what the parents are failing to realize is that the bad parenting is creating future bad parents because you're not teaching your children anything. Most women can't cook, and we are not talking any sexism or misogyny, but most people are not prepared to function in a relationship for even the relationship to last. But listen, Pinky, we could go on and on and on. I want to
ah,
thank you for joining us on the Wake Up Club, and I'm
mm,
giving you this opportunity. Any last words?
yes. My
Mhm.
thing is, right, my last words to you guys, no matter what you're going through in life, no matter your situation, no matter what experience you had, or you feel like, okay, I'm afraid to do this because people are going to judge, people only going to talk for a while. Wake up with a different mindset. You can do it. Don't let anybody put you down. Nobody's perfect. And we all are somebody. Don't feel because I'm doing this, well, okay, yes, Pinky become somebody. No, we have this perception of who people are and how people should live. Not everybody going to be successful together. This is this person time. This could be your time. Everything is at timing. You believe in yourself and one cocoa. Remember that. We
Rasa.
have too much pride. Run to the bank and put the $5. Don't let it tell you, hey, you're gonna put that little bit of money. You don't worry about that. And remember, to achieve things, you have to make that sacrifice. Always remember that you could be anything that you want to be. Remember that. Love and peace. Have yourself a blessed day. Keep your head high no matter what.
Thank you very much. Listen, folks, you're tuned into the Wake Up Club. We had the fabulous one, Pinky Fabulous, this morning, and I wanted to take it a different way because I know her personally. I have always encountered this side of her: inspiration, positivity, great advice. She's the one who tell me, don't fight with Ollie if Ollie put negative thing unless it's Beyonce and Jay-Z and some tabloid go call me and pay me for a comment. Okay? I have always known this side of her. And that's why I didn't want to come, oh, Pinky, tell me about music and da-da-da-da-da. I wanted to have a real conversation with a real human who has been through hell and back, but has always held her head high. Held her head
high. Yes.
And you can do it too. The person
Yes.
looking right now, the young girl who is struggling, listen, you as a person have to realize the pressure that you are putting on people when you really don't know their story. It's very easy for us to sit down and to judge people and to have all sorts of opinions of people. But if you don't know their background, you don't know what motivates them, you don't know their struggles, you are contributing to the destruction. You are.
That's right.
So I really hope that this morning, through everything we said, we could talk for the whole day, you know, and all will be in tune because there's so much to talk about. But we hope that the little bit we spoke about today, that you would internalize it. And as you go out today on this fantastic Friday, you are going to share love, respect, tolerance to everybody you meet. Sometimes it's a simple smile. People are struggling. We spoke about vagrancy. It's a crisis, but it's not. Nobody chooses to become a vagrant. I don't think so. It's either you had a bad family structure and you end up somehow badly influenced and you end up on drugs, or you're dealing with mental illness. There's always a reason. So I always want to push. The last thing I would say to you today is that you go out today and always remember to have compassion and understanding for the people
That's
around.
right.
Have a good one. Chat soon. See you on
Bye.
Tuesday. Bye, guys.
Or event to the next level? Advertise on Ride Along Live and reach over 10 million viewers worldwide every month. With a global audience tuning in for the latest news, entertainment, and culture, your message will get the exposure it deserves. Don't miss the opportunity to showcase your brand to a diverse and engaged audience. Ride Along Live, where the world watches and your business grows. Contact us today to
What if you had a choice? A choice of joining a line or a choice of making your purchases online? What would you choose? While you ponder on that, the National Lotteries Authority has provided another purchasing option. All their games are now available online. Yes, Grenadians! From wherever you are, purchase your favorite daily and jackpot-type games using any electronic device. Register on the NLA's website at www.nla.gd. Top up your account and enjoy online lottery gaming at your convenience. We're taking shopping comfort up, up, up several notches. But the choice is yours. Join a line or buy online. NLA, make your dreams come true.
Rent a car in Grenada? Welcome to Ride Car Rental, offering efficient, time-saving service with affordable rates and 100% paperless rentals. Whether you're visiting or need a quick ride, we've got you covered. Call now at 473-422-1011 and get behind the wheel today. Ride Car Rental, where convenience meets the road.
Today. Located inside Rider Excursion at the Esplanade Mall, we handle both small and large orders with speed and precision. For fast, quality t-shirt printing, call Instaprint at 473-422-1011. Get your perfect print today at Instaprint. Printing done in an instant.
I want you folks to play these 3 games from the NLA. Daily pick 3 cash flow and play with. You will be supporting sports and culture, nation building and our future. So go out and folks, make it a must. You will see what the National Lottery's doing for us. When you play Pick 3, Cash 4 and Play With, the NLA will support you all the way.
Starting September 30th, Monday to Friday, these 3 games will be drawn mid-morning, 9:45 a.m., midday, 12:45 p.m., and evenings, 7:45 p.m. The National Lotteries, supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Sandy Manny